Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're someone who suffers from constant dry mouth, you should know it might not just be about saliva production. Today, we're going to reveal the surprising connection between your circulation and dry mouth that most dentists don't mention, and, more importantly, what you can actually do to address the root cause.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty provocative question. We're all so used to treating dry mouth with things like special gums or sprays, or just constantly sipping on water. But what if all of those are just temporary band-aids? What if the real problem isn't actually in your mouth, but it starts somewhere much, much deeper inside your body?
And that's exactly where we're headed. We're going to peel back the layers on this really common and, let's be honest, frustrating issue, to look way beyond the obvious symptoms. We're going to follow the science to uncover a hidden systemic cause that, frankly, gets overlooked all the time.
And here it is. This is the first major clue that researchers have uncovered. It turns out there's a really strong link between chronic dry mouth, the medical term is xerostomia, and high blood pressure or hypertension. And this isn't just some random coincidence, it's a statistically significant connection that points to something real happening physiologically.
Now check this out, because this isn't just a hunch, we have hard data. A big study published in Clinical Oral Investigations looked at nearly 2,000 people. They found that a full 8% of them were dealing with dry mouth. And when they really crunched the numbers, one thing stood out as a major risk factor: hypertension.
Okay, so if high blood pressure is a big risk factor, how in the world does it actually cause dry mouth? I mean, what's the link? Well, the answer lies in the one system that connects literally everything in your body: your circulation. Let's dig into exactly how the health of your arteries can directly impact your salivary glands.
To really get this, we've got to know this one key term: stenosis. The easiest way to think about it is to imagine your arteries as a massive network of pipelines carrying blood, oxygen, and nutrients all over your body. Stenosis is what happens when those pipelines get squeezed or narrowed, which, of course, restricts the flow. And that means the organs at the end of the line, like your salivary glands, get starved of what they need to work right.
And this right here, this lays out the whole process perfectly. It's like a domino effect. First, that high blood pressure contributes to arteries getting harder and narrower. That's our stenosis. Step 2, this chokes off the blood flow to the tiny little vessels that feed your salivary glands. 3, those glands are now being starved of the essential fluids and nutrients they need. And the final result? Well, saliva production just tanks, and you're left with that chronic, nagging dry mouth.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is a direct quote from that 2021 study. The researchers stated it plain as day. Hypertension can cause the actual degeneration, that means a physical breakdown, of the salivary glands by promoting that narrowing of the arteries that are supposed to be supplying them. It's a powerful statement.
So, what does this degeneration actually look like? Can you see it? Well, the same researchers didn't just stop at the data. They went a step further and looked at the physical evidence right under a microscope, comparing the salivary glands of people with high blood pressure to those without.
And this is just fascinating. This slide shows us exactly what they saw. In the patients who had hypertension, the actual cells that produce saliva were physically smaller. And not only that, but the index they used to measure how hard the arteries are was significantly higher in those little arteries feeding the glands. This is direct, physical proof of the damage.
You know, when you understand this evidence, it completely changes how you have to think about treating dry mouth. It suddenly makes perfect sense why chewing gum or using an oral spray might give you a minute of relief, but it never ever solves the underlying problem.
And that brings us to these two very different ways of looking at it. On one side, you have all the temporary fixes, the things that just mask the symptoms. But on the other side, you have a root cause approach, one that's focused on supporting healthy circulation to actually nourish those glands from the inside out. One is a band-aid, the other is a path to a real solution. Now, as we explore this circulation connection, just remember that true relief from dry mouth really goes beyond these temporary fixes. A little later, I'm going to share a natural approach that targets this underlying cause by supporting your body's own natural moisture production.
So, this brings us to the most important part. For those of you who are serious about your health and you're really ready to move beyond those temporary fixes, the goal has to be addressing the underlying circulatory issue that we've just spent all this time laying out.
And this is the question that really matters, right? If poor circulation is the problem, then improving it has to be the solution. So what can you actually do? Now, for anyone serious about solving dry mouth for good, one approach worth considering is a product like Circo 2.
Unlike temporary remedies, Circo-2 works by dramatically improving your circulation. This helps deliver the fluids and nutrients your salivary glands desperately need to produce more of your own natural moisture. And this is so important for protecting your teeth from decay and your gums from irritation. The team behind Circo-2 is offering a special discount for our viewers, and it comes with a 60-day guarantee. Just check the link in the description to learn how you can start supporting your oral health through better circulation.